Hey, yo. Check it.
Welcome back, hero.
My word is my sword, Hokage and Batosai, pulling the blades out of the forge, yo. Prior to my knowledge of the Force, was thinking Jedi, but through obtaining holocrons from both sides, I'm under gray skies. Everything that glitter ain't kyber crystal, my mind to lift you. In this time we shine together, disarm your pistol, yo. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast.
Man, it's like,
Hey man, I just want to give a warning. In case you heard some screaming in the background of the last episode of the SwordCast, my son is a Fortnite fanatic. He's playing right now in his room. So if you hear some unexpected screams or some raging, it's the boy playing Fortnite. My apologies.
what the heck?
Dang it! Or you know what they always say, stop third partying! You're third partying! I think that means...
What the hell does that mean?
So I think that's like the new kid slang for if you're like engaged with someone else and someone comes and kills you. Like what Marshall does when we play
I was just about to say, Marshall, get the fuck out of here.
Quit third partying.
All right.
Yeah, and also, man, last week we talked about our top 5 favorite Star Wars movies. I had Revenge of the Sith at number 5, and we talked about it. I got to push that up to number 2. So Revenge of the Sith will definitely be my number 2 Star Wars movie. But yeah, man, episode 36.
Episode Rashid Wallace.
Oh.
Is that who you?
Man.
Is that who you thought it was gonna be? Oh, bitches! All right,
I'll never forget that, bro. Playoffs. They put the close up on him in slow motion. Hilarious.
Hey, Roscoe, goddammit.
Bro, when I was hooping at Rochester College, Rochester University now, they then came up, right? When I was hooping at Rochester, bro, I used to see Rashid at Best Buy all the time. And my man would just, my man would just be in there with the grimiest hair, dirtiest sweatpants, just not a care in the world, just buying like a card every time. He's always buying like 30 movies, 20 games, 50 CDs, and I would see him up there all the time, assuming he lived in Rochester, right?
I fuck with that nigga Rashid.
Shout out to Sheed. Episode Jerome Bettis, The Bus, another Detroit legend, man. Another Detroit legend. Yo, real quick, this kind of room, since we're talking about Pistons and my college hoop days, right? I have the coolest Will Bynum story ever.
Yeah, tell me about this.
Yeah, so this was back when they were having the lockout, right? And they were having the lockout. Players couldn't use the facilities. And I remember being in the gym. I was working out with my boy. I want to say it was my homie Ian, I think. We were getting some shots up. And we were working out, getting some shots up in the gym on the gun. And
shout out to the gun.
Oh God, fire!
The gun.
Yeah, bro. I remember when the gun first came out. Because I went to Cranbrook, the private school. So they had Infinity.
So I was gonna say, so y'all had it,
bro. We had that bitch the day it came out. The very first day it came out. The first day it was invented. That shit was shipped to Cranbrook, and we were all like, "Holy shit, what the fuck is that?"
Yo, we didn't even have one in high school. I didn't see my first one until I got in college, and so we're in the gym shooting on the gun, and my coach's son, who coaches Rochester now, Clint, comes in the gym. He's like, "Hey man, you guys got to get out," and we're like, "What?" You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, I got something going on. You guys got to get out. And I'm like, all right, man, well, we just got to, we got like 50 more shots and then we'll be out. And he's like, all right, cool. So we're thinking that somebody's like coming to clean the gym or something, right? So then we're done working out. We start taking our shoes off and he opens the door and Tayshaun Prince and Will Bynum come walking in the gym. And Clint is working out the Pistons players because they can't go to the facility because it's the lockout, right? This dude, Will Bynum, walks in our gym, sweatpants, untied, high-top white Air Force Ones. Dude picks up a basketball, no stretches, and does a between-the-legs dunk.
For those who are uninitiated, Will Bynum is also like 5'9".
Bro, Will Bynum is short.
Yeah, no, he's not a tall guy.
This guy picks up the ball, does between the legs dunk in sweatpants, untied forces, and a do-rag on.
Right,
between the legs dunk.
And I'm sure Tayshaun Prince was like 11 feet tall with the fucking long, just everything gangly, monster, long ass.
Yeah,
Giannis Antetokounmpo, basically.
He was scraping his knuckles on the ground. He was walking.
Right.
Yeah, he's super, super tall. But yeah, man, that's just a dope story I like to tell. And that does it for the sports section of the SwordCast. So, what are you into currently, man? Right now, I know you've been playing the Streets of Rage. I know you've
still
been
in it, bro.
Still in it.
Still in the Streets of Rage, dog. My lifetime score on that shit is like 3.5 million. Which, if you play the game, you'll understand that that's a big number.
That sounds like a lot.
I've been trying to beat it. I've been trying to beat it with with someone from every version of the game because they have like they got everybody from Streets of Rage 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I've been trying to beat it with somebody from each generation. Right now, I'm working on Streets of Rage 2, but that would be the last one. And I'm trying to figure out like who is the best character. It's between probably Blaze and Shiva. Like you were telling me that Blaze kind of had like a little like, I guess, I don't know what you would call that, like a kind of like a remodeling. Yeah, kind of, man. Like, I don't know, man. Blaze Fielding is her actual name, and that's how she looked. She looked like a young woman named Blaze Fielding from London. Right. In Streets of Rage 1, 2, and even 3. But in Streets of Rage 4, I don't know, dog. We might be looking at Blaze, right? We might be looking at Blaze Ortega. She got. I mean, her whole swag is like super Hispanic woman, Latina with the hoop earrings and like the stilettos with the attitude. Okay. And the ass whooping, you know what I'm saying?
I'm here for it.
So yeah, I'm here for it. And before I get in trouble, when I say attitude, that's a bad word. I shouldn't say attitude. I mean like with the flavor. There you go. Not the attitude. The flavor. I don't want to do the bad connotation that brown women got attitudes. That's not what I mean. What I mean is she got the confidence and the flair and the swag of a brown woman. So I'm here for that. Right. So yeah, so we just discovered officially canon Blaze is half Puerto Rican.
Hey, I'm here for it. I gotta check it out, man. So I've been playing Star Wars Battlefront. Still checking out Cabaneri and the Iron Fortress, the dope anime we were talking about. But I recently jumped back into Brawlhalla, and Brawlhalla it's a game that I love. I played it a lot before. I was playing it a lot like pre-Smash, you know what I mean? Before Smash came out, I was kind of getting my Smash fix by playing Brawlhalla. And Brawlhalla is basically this game. It's a lot like Smash. It's the same kind of principles, but it just has these. It's like an indie game, and it just has these amazing original characters in it, man. And there's so many of them, and they all have their own little backstories. You know what I'm saying? And they're all and they kind of the theme of the game is that everybody is like a fallen warrior that's in Valhalla. You know what I mean? And they got samurai, they got Vikings, they got like all types of characters, man, like knights, and there's so many of them. And it's just a really dope game. And obviously, it's kind of Fortnite-esque when you're talking about skins and everything. They have like super dope skins for every character.
The one thing that threw me off about watching, I haven't played it, but I've seen it played a lot. Bro, the characters on that game are just so small, bro. I feel like they're like little Lego men fighting each other.
They are.
I'll be like, yo, what's going on here?
That's true. I never thought about that. Yeah, they are like little mini action
mini guys.
They're little tiny guys fighting each other, but it's dope. I love it. My favorite character is this guy named Koji. He's like a samurai. And another dope thing about the game is the coolest characters are females. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's this ninja girl named Hattori. She's really dope. There's this girl named Kaya. She's like a forest, kind of like Alaskan, like girl with a bow. And it's really dope. And every character has two weapons. They all have like Koji, the guy I like the most. He's got a sword and a bow. And then the Kaya girl, she has a spear and a bow, and some people have like these gauntlets, you know what I mean, with their hands and like spears, and some people have guns. It's a sweet game, man. I actually streamed it on Twitch last night for a little bit. So yeah, man, y'all should check out Brawlhalla, man. That's what I've been playing a lot. It's really dope, man. And like I said, some of the skins for some of the characters are ridiculous, man.
Word up. I'm gonna have to check it out. That's a pretty good endorsement for that game.
Yeah, man, y'all check out Brawlhalla. So getting into the wrestling realm of things, we haven't.
Real quick, breaking news: Becky Lynch is apparently pregnant.
Oh, I already knew that was gonna happen. I did. I saw them saying that she was gonna make a life changing announcement tonight on Raw. And you know what?
That was a telegraph like a mug.
It was a telegraph, but you know what? I'm here for it, man. And the reason I like it, it sucks because Becky's my franchise player in our fantasy wrestling league. But at the same time, I love it. And the reason I love it is because Becky did such an amazing job being the champion. And look, man, I tell people all the time, bro, 2 years ago, there was a time when WWE was completely unwatchable, and Becky was the only thing that was hot and that I was actually tuning in to see. This was around the time where she like led the siege of SmackDown on the Raw Women before Survivor Series, and she got her nose broke and her nose was bleeding everywhere. Yeah, she was just amazing for so long. So I actually love seeing her relinquish the title and not actually losing it. I think that is so dope. And then I agree. And then when she has the baby and she has her time off and she gets back in shape and she's ready to come back, she can come back and demand that she didn't actually lose the belt. So
an instant feud.
An instant feud. I'm here for it, man. Super, super here for it. Congratulations to Becky Lynch on the baby. It's dope. But yeah, man, getting back into Money in the Bank last night. fart noise. I gotta tell you, man, Money in the Bank was trash. I'm just keep it short and sweet. I mean, there were a couple good matches. The first match, the tag match with New Day and Lucha House Party and Miz and John Morrison and Forgotten Sons. That match was dope. It was good. Look, man, Kofi Kingston, man, the guy is fantastic. He's a fantastic worker. We talked about it before, man, in terms of a guy who's just like a bred WWE guy. One of the best ever. One of the best ever. I love Kofi. Hey, Kofi, come here.
Kofi,
what are you doing? You gotta throw pancakes all the time. What do you throw some chicken? It'll go better with your skin and your character. But
also bring the Jamaican accent back.
Bring an African accent back. It was Jamaican. Oh, same thing, right?
Right. Are they all from Africa?
You're all from Africa anyway, so it's the same. But yeah, man, that match was dope. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre was dope. But other than that, the Money in the Bank match was just terrible. It because, and we kind of talked about how at WrestleMania they did the whole Undertaker thing with like the kind of the big production, like kind of movie type esque thing, and that was cool, right? But this is kind of WWE having success with something, and then then just beating a dead horse with it. You know what I mean? So they kind of
who was it this time?
Well, they tried this thing where the match took place in the performance center, and they fight through the performance center. Then they have to get to the roof, and then on the roof is where the ring is with the ladders. And it was just really stupid. I didn't like it at all. And then so Asuka won the women's Money in the Bank briefcase, which is super dope. I love Asuka, and also I'm not watching Raw right now. I'm gonna watch it when we're done. So I'm assuming Asuka's just gonna get the belt, right? Because she won Money in the Bank. I would assume that. I
mean, you would think, but no, of course not. Of course not, bro.
We got to see what's gonna happen with that, but that would be dope if she did. I love Asuka, but that was cool. But then Otis Dozovich from Heavy Machinery wins the male Money in the Bank. And
what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, in my opinion, I thought it was a shoo-in for Aleister Black, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, but they give it to Otis. And I just thought it was dumb. I mean, I'm not a fan of the whole. I like Otis, but he's just a spoof character. He's really annoying. He's like trying to be funny all the time.
Right.
Now,
can he wrestle at all?
He's not bad, but it's just I can't stand his character. He's super annoying. He does that, and we get it. He's just like one of those.
You know what he is? He's a nice Cartman. That's exactly who he is. He's Cartman, but not an asshole.
He is, and it's just super annoying. I can't stand the way he talks, and he just reminds me of like one of those meatheads from high school that's just like in the weight room all the time. But I tell you what would be dope. Way that they could perhaps fix this would be I think it would be cool if he actually kind of surprised his tag team partner Tucker Knight and cashed it in to win the tag titles instead of a singles title. I think that would be dope. It's never been done before.
Is it possible technically?
I mean, why not? I don't see why not.
I guess not.
You can challenge him, Bill. So I would be here for that. But
the only thing about that then is like, all right, well, cool. Then we wasted an opportunity to push Aleister Black or somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And that's why. That's why I don't get it. I don't know, because Aleister Black, I thought he was going to win, but but with that said, one thing I would like WWE to do is, so everybody knows I love New Japan. I'm actually wearing a New Japan shirt right now. Los Ingobernables, Stay Upon. Shout out to Tetsuya Naito. But one thing that New Japan does that I think is dope is when they do, because when you win G1 Climax, you get the briefcase and you get to fight for the title at Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom. But what New Japan does is, leading up to Wrestle Kingdom, you have to defend the briefcase and somebody can win it from you. You know what I mean? So I think it would be dope if New Japan or if WWE did that.
What's the name of that event again that does the briefcase for New Japan?
G1, the tournament, G1.
Okay.
So when you win G1, the tournament, you get the briefcase, and then but leading up to Wrestle Kingdom, they have to defend the briefcase. You know what I mean? Like, so people challenge for it, and somebody can win it from you, and they can take your main event title match at Wrestle Kingdom. So I think it would be dope if WWE would have people defend the briefcase, because sometimes you have a guy. James, sure. Yo, my bad. That's the dad came out real quick. But sometimes if you have a guy win the briefcase that's not like a really, really good creative character, it gets really stale and they hold it forever. And a good way to combat that would be to have the people defend the briefcase. You know what I mean?
So does the briefcase in G1 work the same way? Does it challenge for a match, or does it it's just automatic? It's like winning. It's like winning Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah, okay. It's like winning the Royal Rumble. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So I would like to see WWE do that. Money in the Bank was trash. Were two good matches. Love the Asuka one. Not a fan of Otis Dozovich winning. Boom.
There it is. There it is. All right, so what do we got? Oh, go ahead,
man. We got some interesting things on deck for the show today. Can talk about some Avengers, some MCU stuff, couple other things. Got some 90s nostalgia coming, and I'm a fan of today's top 5. You guys are going to see what it is. I think it's pretty dope. It's a pretty unique one. But real quick, man, just the whole wrestling in empty arenas. It's been going on for a while. Who knows when they're going to start letting people pack the arenas again? I think when it's done right, it's okay. It's fine. AEW does it. I like the way they do it. WWE, NXT does it good, but for some reason, it's just like the main roster stuff hasn't been that good. I just don't understand what's so difficult. You don't have fans. Just focus on the product that's in the ring, man. Like just let the guys go. You don't have to do these long promos now because you don't have people there. So use your talent. Like this is the time for WWE to let guys just do their thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Quit having little 4-minute matches. Like let these guys get out there and get it in for 15 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Let guys put on some good TV matches, man. That's what AEW's been doing. And I just wish that they would do that because they have such an amazing roster.
It's ridiculous how much talent they have.
It's crazy, man. But yeah, bro, with that said, I saw this thing on Twitter and thought it was pretty cool. How would you rank the Avengers movies from best to worst? Obviously, none of them are trash, but only Avengers movies, right? Okay. So we're not talking about the entire MCU, just the Avengers, the 4 Avengers movies.
All right, so yeah, my list is actually pretty straightforward, and I think that you and I are probably going to be aligned on this. So number 1, I'm going to go Avengers. Oh, sorry, what am I doing? Sorry, number 4. Sorry from the bottom. Let me pull up my list here just to be sure. So number 4, I'm going to go with Age of Ultron. Okay. Again, not trash, but wasn't my favorite. I thought that I thought that Ultron was underwhelming. Like that's a badass character in the comic books. I mean, he's like in a tier with. I mean, shit, bro. He's in if he's not like top tier. When you think top tier Marvel villain, you think Doctor Doom. You think
Ultron is definitely
okay. I was gonna say like if he's not in the top tier, he's right there.
He's up there, man.
Like in the same level of like serious threat as a guy like Doctor Doom. If you're soft and you think that Magneto is a villain, then I would put him there too. But I mean, if you're a real one and you know that he's not, and that nigga's a hero. But yeah, no, so Ultron's a badass character that I think they kind of gave him the like mid boss treatment where he should be like a final boss.
And you know that's interesting you say that because I worry about a character like Kang the Conqueror having that similar MCU fate where he's a top tier villain for sure, but they might use him as like a filler movie villain. And I
already know they will. He's not wide enough.
Doesn't happen to him.
He's not wide enough known. Like people don't know Kang like they know Doctor. I mean, I'm telling you, bro. Listen, I'm willing to put this shit on wax right now. Doctor Doom is going to be the new Thanos for this shit, and it's not going to be regular Doctor Doom. It's going to be God Doom from fucking from Secret Wars. That's how. If they don't do it, maybe I should just say this. That's the way they should do it. They should introduce Doom as like give him his props like as a badass villain, and then make him take the extra step of becoming of grasping the power of the Beyonders and becoming God Doom, and that being the level up from Thanos.
So let me say this, right? How would you feel about so this is what I think they should do. I think they should do a Fantastic Four movie. Doom is the villain. After the Fantastic Four movie, so I guess this would be like almost so similar to how Captain America had the movies where everybody was in his movies. I think Doctor Doom should have his own movie, and it should should tell the story of him getting the power of the Beyonder, and then that should lead into the Secret Wars movie. You know what I mean? I think Doom needs his own movie. He needs his own film, bro. I don't want to see him.
I'd be down for that.
I think he needs his own movie, bro. He really does. Like, you could argue that Infinity War was a Thanos movie. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It was, so I would like to see Doom get that same treatment.
I would be down for, so here's what I think they should, man. Okay. All right. Here's what they should do. Cause I'm thinking back to the newest Secret Wars back in 2015 and how they pulled that off. So what I would do instead of a Doom movie is I would do a Battle World movie, which features.
What's my man's name? What is my man's name that brings everybody to Battle World?
You talking about not Mojo? Is that who you thinking about?
I was thinking about Mojo.
Yeah. So yeah, Mojo. That is a battle world. Maybe I could be. Actually is going to correct me. I could be using the wrong term.
Well, actually,
basically, what I'm referring to is the world that Doom creates after the convergence of the Ultimate and the 616 universes.
Yeah,
and where he's. The incursion, exactly. And you got like all of the big bads are all like they all rule their separate like kingdoms, almost on some Game of Thrones type shit.
Yeah, this episode got nerdy real quick.
It did, yeah.
Well, actually,
that being said, let's refocus here. But the point is, Doom needs to be featured heavily in the next phase.
Absolutely,
I think we can agree on that. Then for number 3, back to the original question, I'm gonna go with Endgame. Again, not trash. Just wasn't better than the two that I'm about to say next. You know what I'm saying? Like, Endgame was. I mean, the timey-wimey was a little ridiculous. You kind of had to. You know, they were fighting an uphill battle because they needed Adam Warlock to be involved. And they just didn't have him.
They didn't have him.
So they had to.
They introduced him at the end of
That's true.
One of the Guardians movies, and then for some reason they just didn't.
He wasn't as established of a character as he should have been.
Yeah.
I would have thought. I mean, maybe this is given Doctor. Well, no, because Doctor Strange is fucking incredibly powerful. I would have even said. Because there are versions of Doctor Strange that he could have played that role. He could have played the role of Adam Warlock. I think that would have been a good use of him. But then somebody would have said, "Oh, he's not as powerful." But like, nah, man, maybe not the current Doctor Strange, but there are versions of Doctor.
There's been times where he's been
Doctor Strange in the '60s before they started giving a fuck about like continuity. That motherfucker was stronger than Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. Damn near, he was like fucking invincible. So he was crazy powerful. But anyways, yeah, so I would put that at number 3 because of they just had to figure something out, and it was fine what they did. I would have liked it if they did something else. Number 2, I'm going to go with Avengers, the original OG Avengers. I mean, that was when they pulled it off, man. They pulled off all 3 of them on screen, all 5 of them on screen.
Man, I was so excited for that movie. Yeah.
And we didn't think they could do it. We never seen anything like that before.
Nobody. I never thought they would be able to make it.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
They actually pulled it off, and it was awesome, man. Shout out to the Hulk and Thor being the MVPs of that movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then number 1, that leaves us with Infinity War. I mean, you got the Black Order, who I think you would say were a little bit underpowered, which I would agree.
A lot of bit.
Yeah.
Bro, Black Widow beats Proxima Midnight.
Yeah, that's not happening.
In a one-on-one fight.
That's not happening. Black Widow. I mean, I think that even Omega Level Storm might not be able to beat Proxima. I mean, depending on who's writing her. It always just depends on who's writing her. But like,
yeah, for sure. But I always talk about the Black Order and how ridiculously powerful they are.
They're stupid. Now the Marvel Ultimate Alliance does them justice as fuck. They are hard
so
as
hard.
shit. They are crazy hard.
Goodness. Yeah, that's true. So I mean, that's kind of boring because we have the same exact.
I told you we're going to be aligned.
Yeah, we are definitely aligned. We have the same exact order. I have the same order. Age of Ultron number 4. I will say this. Obviously, like you said, not trash. I do think Age of Ultron is super underappreciated. I mean, that is the movie that's the first time you see the stones in the gauntlet. Remember, Thor has that vision. He has that vision that when Wanda messes up everybody's mind, and he has that Ragnarok vision, and he sees the gauntlet forming in space. That part was really dope. And then Endgame, same. It was dope. Had one of the best Marvel moments ever when Cap, the on your left, you know what I mean, at the end. But like I said, a little timey with the whole time travel thing. And then number 2, Avengers, just a classic in Infinity War. Although the Black Order was underpowered, I loved that movie. And I personally thought Iron Man was amazing in Infinity War. I thought he was the best character. I thought he was just unbelievable in Infinity War. I loved him.
I agree. I loved Spider-Man in that movie too. He was
I love the part where he's on the bus and he's got the spider sense and he just gets. Love it. That movie is and Infinity War is just. That movie just goes. It never stops.
It's a ride. It
never stops. I love Infinity War. So yeah, man, same order. So I don't know if you heard about this. They kind of announced it like back in December. There's a Dragon Quest. There's another Dragon Quest game coming out. Which I mean, most of us have played Dragon Quest at some points, like a JRPG.
1,000 years ago, I played this.
But I think it's dope that they're making a Dragon Quest anime, bro. And I don't know when it's coming out, but I know they're supposed to talk about it. I think at the end of the month here. And I've always been here for I've always wanted a Chrono Trigger anime, but I will settle for a Dragon Quest anime.
I kind of need the Chrono Trigger anime before I need this one.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying, Doug?
I would rather have Chrono Trigger, but this is a step in the right direction. And Dragon Quest characters on Smash are complete bullcrap, and they're cheating and they're broken characters, and I hate
That's the closest thing we're gonna get to Goku in Smash. For those who, and I trust most of us are sweaty enough to know that Akira Toriyama is the artist behind Dragon Quest as well as Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger
is such a fucking amazing game. I would love to see that.
Sweet, man. I need a remastered.
Or like or something.
Remastered. Yeah. Bro, if they would remaster these games in the same fashion that they did Final Fantasy VII.
Wow. What? Can you imagine Chrono Trigger on playing on that engine? Oh my god,
that would be amazing. Just the characters they look so sweet. Yeah. That would be nuts if they did that. And a little more Star Wars news. We talk about Star Wars every episode, so why not? How do you feel about? How do you feel about your favorite bounty hunter, Boba Fett, being in Mandalorian season 2? Let me say this before we hate on Boba Fett like we always do.
Right.
I think that this is going to be our. I think this is Star Wars providing us with Mando being recognized as the best Mandalorian now. You know what I mean? I think Boba's gonna kind of serve that.
Passing of the torch, maybe.
Yeah,
I'll be okay with that. I just don't. I want it to be the most minor cameo role ever, where he goes to. But you know what though? I'm sure you peeped this, but you know who we actually. The theory is that we saw Boba Fett at the end of that episode where the what's my Asian woman's name who died at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So apparently that was supposed to be with the spur. I didn't know. Did you know that? Because I read an article that said someone wearing Boba Fett's trademark spurs, and I'm like, when has he ever worn fucking spurs? I never heard of that before in my life. But maybe I just wasn't paying attention because nobody gives a shit about fucking Boba Fett. But apparently, apparently the theory is that was that supposedly is Boba Fett. And it's like, all right, well, what the fuck? What are we doing here? Like, I mean, are we gonna?
Hey, they gotta please the original trilogy fans. George Lucas, what are you doing?
Like George
Ruining
Lucas
Star Wars.
is sitting back with his black wife.
George Lucas would just be like, whatever.
I don't give a fuck, guys. So yeah, I mean, obviously, if it's done well, I'm here for it. I don't want us to distract from a great character that we've already created in Mando.
Yeah,
he's a fantastic character, bro. Like
he is, bro.
We don't need to create any competition here.
Do not. I hope they don't. I really hope they don't do that. This is, when we first started the pod, we used to always do like 90s nostalgia stuff.
Oh yeah,
I kind of want to get back to that because a lot of us are 90s kids.
I think the movie that I chose didn't come out in the 90s.
So check it. We're gonna get back into some 90s nostalgia. I had a fan hit me up on Instagram, and he kind of reminded me that we used to kind of do
the 90s nostalgia
thing, man. And I love that. That was kind of one of the main reasons we even started doing this. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
So we could you know what I mean? So we could kind of shed some light on some things that made us happy when we were growing up.
Yeah.
So real quick, we had a fan come with some pretty dope things. We'll get into it at the end though. But for right now, give me a sports movie from the 90s that changed your life.
Okay. All right, man.
There's a lot. I mean, there's so many.
I got a couple. Okay. So the first one that I was going to
nostalgia.
Right. The first one that I was going to go with was fucking Remember the Titans, but that shit came in the year 2000. Just barely missed the cut. So we're not going there. So the first thing that came to mind,
bro, I know that come on in the 90s, but my goodness, I love Remember the Titans so much.
It's just an amazing movie.
I would never. This one time, I was coming back. I was on tour, and I was coming back from. I think I was actually coming back from. I was coming back from Europe, and I was watching Remember the Titans on the plane. And for some reason, dog, I was just like super emotional when I was watching that movie. and I think I was sitting next to LAZ, and he kept tapping me. He's like, "Bro, are you crying?" And I was just like, "No, I don't know why, bro." This is like the Bertier, man. I can't.
Hey, that's tough, bro.
I cannot do it, bro. I can't.
Bertier was all man. He was finna go to the league, probably.
No, he was about to go to the league.
Bertier and fucked his shit up. It was tough, dog.
Left side, strong side.
Hey, man,
I love that movie, bro. Who's your favorite character in Remember the Titans?
I like Bertier. I like what was Wood Harris's character name? Julius Campbell.
Julius Campbell.
And I like Petey. Petey had an attitude, dog. Petey the type that'll get you 31 game and then have like 6 turnovers the next game. I fuck with Petey.
My favorite was Rev, dog. Rev
was my dude. Bro, it's so many good characters, dog. I forgot about Rev. Rev was a young Russell Westbrook or Russell Wilson out here.
And then Sunshine, bro. Sunshine had the cannon.
Sunshine with the cannon and the wheels, dog.
And the wheels running the option.
Right.
I love that. I love that movie, bro. But go ahead.
Yo, that movie was secretly super progressive, like football wise, because if you look at their two quarterbacks, neither one of them was really pocket passers like that. They was both mobile as fuck.
Yeah, when I was a kid and I played quarterback, we ran the veer to the option offense. Mm-hmm. So we used to run that offense. So yeah, they was pretty dope. They had 2 mobile quarterbacks. Love that movie, man.
Yeah. All right, so if I had to choose one though, I'm gonna probably go with Hoop Dreams. back in '94.
Oh yeah, man, I remember watching that on NBA TV.
The documentary about Arthur Agee and William Pop Gates. And I remember being, because they're both Chicago kids. One of them was from the hood. The other one was like, I think they were both from the hood, but one went to like a really like a prestigious. I think he went to the same private school that Isaiah Thomas went to, and then Arthur Agee went to like the hood school. And I just loved that. It was a dope story.
The dynamic,
their dynamic was cool, and it was interesting because I remember watching that and being like, I guess it didn't really dawn on me, but because they were following them both since they were real little. And in the movie, they never really came. You never saw them come face to face that often. But every time they did, they were like, it was like they were like best friends. And I guess I didn't realize, like, bro, these niggas are having a movie made about themselves with each other. Like, I'm sure they probably hang out all the time. But it was just cool. It was just kind of a sad ending with. I don't think either one of them. I think William Gates had a knee that fucked him up. And I think Arthur Agee, he played in college. I don't think he got an NBA look, but I think they both are like coaches now or something, which was cool.
I mean, and that's one thing about going to college, man, especially people that go D1. It really goes like one of two ways, right? You get there and you are as good as you're supposed to be and you thrive. Or, man, there are some guys who get there and you've been the best player your whole life, and now you're surrounded by everybody else who's been the best player their whole life, and it's just like a shock, you know what I mean? And and that's why, sometimes when we play at like a smaller school like I did, we would have these amazing guys that were like D1 transfers, you know what I mean? And you kind of realize that that's how they get in those, situations.
Right.
But yeah, man, I got kind of a less serious answer, but an honest answer. I gotta go with Little Giants, man.
Hey,
that's probably my favorite like sports movie, especially from the 90s. First of all, the movie's hilarious. Second of all,
it is hilarious.
If I had like a life or death situation and I had to quote a movie word for word, it's Little Giants, bro. I've seen that movie so many times. That movie's hilarious. And it's the movie that made me want to play football. I was always basketball, karate, basketball.
Pretty much how I was.
Right.
Still to this day.
But seeing Little Giants is what really made me want to play football. The movie's hilarious. My favorite part is when my man Zoltek, who was the chubby kid, he's running around and he gets laid out by Becky. Icebox. Fire nickname.
Yeah.
And my man,
she was stuffing people, dog.
And my man looks like he's bleeding, but it's jelly from the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And he takes his helmet off. And he takes his helmet off, and he says, and he's like, "Oh, he's bleeding." And then he takes his helmet off, and it's a smushed sandwich in his hand.
Right. Oh, I remember that.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You're never going to get anywhere. Treat your helmet like a lunchbox. I love that movie, bro. So, yeah, mine would be Little Giants, man. But there's so many good ones, like Mighty Ducks.
I almost picked that one.
Mighty Ducks. Sandlot, obviously. Never really was a big baseball guy, but Sandlot is just an amazing movie anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just shout out to Benny the Jet Rodriguez. Sandlot's classic. I used to always watch that movie in the summer around the 4th of July. It just reminds me of summertime. I saw that movie to my kids and they really liked it too. So shout out to all the classic 90s sports movies, man.
Wait, real quick. This Dragon Quest anime, is Akira Toriyama going to do it?
I had not heard that. Is he? That would be amazing.
That might have piqued my interest. Either one of them. If you're going to do it, you need to at least get his
He's got to be involved.
Yeah, he's probably an OG at this point. He's probably not animating anymore, but you need to get his team involved to get that feel back. You know what I'm saying?
Because I saw a screenshot of what and it looks good. It looks pretty solid. It actually looks like his work. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But.
Oh, bro, they already did one. They did one back in like 1989.
Yeah, this is obviously a remake,
a new version of it.
Yeah, but I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that they had already made. I didn't know that they had already made an anime. So,
and I don't think Akira Toriyama was involved with it. Interestingly enough,
that's weird.
How could they have done that? I wonder. Weird.
Same way that
the Dragon Ball GT did.
Oh man,
this shit look kind of trash. Not the new one.
The old one. Well,
bro, this shit look like knockoff Dragon Ball Z. Look at this shit, man.
I can see it. Yeah,
that shit look like knockoff Goku.
Broku. Noku.
Right, Noku.
Noku-san. Yeah, bro. So with that said, time for everybody's favorite part of the show. Gonna get into our top 5 of the day. This is a good one. We're all trying to stay creative and do some new things here. So I saw this on Twitter too, man. I thought it was really dope. I need your top 5 favorite film showdowns, right? So we're talking film fights, but it's got to be a one-on-one. So
gotcha.
No one versus many, no group fights. Top 5 favorite film showdowns. When I think of a showdown, I'm thinking 1v1,
right.
2 guys, 2 girls, guy and a girl, whatever. What do you got?
So I have a surprising number 1. We'll get there, obviously. But I had to, we talked about this off air a little bit. I wanted to be really creative with this because I got a couple of anime ones that are not like from a movie, but so I'll just give you 2 examples. I would say that a good one-on-one showdown would be Taiga Kagami from Kokoro no Basket versus Ayomine, the street ball dude, when they both are in the zone. That one-on-one that they had when they was just going back and forth giving each other's buckets, that was a showdown if I've ever seen one. And this was going to be my number 1 if we didn't edit these rules, bro. And I'm telling you, dog. I'm telling you, this is why you got to watch this anime, bro. Number 1, this might be my number 1 favorite showdown of all time. Just because of how intense that shit was and how creatively they did it. And they sustained it for such a long period of time. It's got to be Light Yagami versus L. Is that what you're gonna? It's got to be Light Yagami versus L and Death Note, dog. Not a single. Actually, there was one scene where they like threw a couple punches at each other. It was actually pretty funny, but it was just the motherfucking. L straight up like capoeira kicked the shit out of Light. It was actually he straight did like a fucking like a weird ass kick.
I gotta watch that.
I'm telling you, dog.
Everybody's so shocked that I've never watched. But I tell people I'm like an action junkie, bro.
I understand, but I also know that like the way that this, again, shout out to, this is the thing I love the most about anime is not necessarily the fights are always great, but it's not necessarily the fights. It's just the fights is the place in anime where what I'm describing is highlighted the most often. Mm-hmm. But I love the way that anime, like that medium, can make epicness out of something that isn't epic.
Food Wars is a perfect example.
It's that is quickly becoming one of my favorite animes of all time. They're just fucking food chefing, and it's like Dragon Ball Z, dog. Like no bullshit. And just with L and Light was just a straight like battle of the mind, dog. Like it was just trying to outsmart each other in the lengths they were going to like try to catch the other one slipping was just extreme, dog. I was like, yo, this shit is so hype. It was so intense, bro. So intense. You would enjoy it. You would enjoy it. If you gave it a shot, I think you would enjoy it. That said, we went away from that and we're going to go to strictly films, but I do have a very good number one. So number 5, I'm going to go with Donnie Yen versus Colin Chow from Flashpoint. That last fight at the end, that 8-minute long MMA wrestling Kung Fu Wing Chun battle.
Bro,
that was an incredible fight.
That is one of the best fight scenes ever. Flashpoint is a good movie, and the fight at the end of that movie, yo, let me just tell y'all this. If y'all have never seen Flashpoint, hear me out, bro. If I'm introducing somebody to Donnie Yen, I know this might sound crazy, I would almost rather show them Flashpoint than the Ip Man movies. And the reason I say that is because this dude literally does every fighting style in Flashpoint. Bro, he German suplexes a cat.
He straight up bridge.
He runs by my man's. And German suplexes him with the bridge. That movie is insane.
It's great. It does show his versatility. It's just one of the top 3 in the Mount Rushmore of martial arts stars.
Oh my goodness, that's such a good pick.
So that's my number 5. Number 4, I'm gonna go with this is from an anime movie. I'm gonna go with Tetsuo versus Kaneda.
Hey, Kaneda!
So, and again, not so much necessarily a fight per se, because one of them had a laser gun and the other one was a fucking super psychic possessed crazy person. But the way that whole back and forth, like the climax was edited and shot was just absolutely epic. It made you feel like, Tetsuo was finally like, yo, dog, like I'm all powerful. I'm not about to be your bitch no more. And then Kaneda was like, man, fuck that shit. You still ain't shit, bitch. You still my little dog. So act right, goddammit.
Yo, bro, Tetsuo takes a space laser shot. He just keeps.
He tanks it. He just keeps ticking. He tanked a fucking homing satellite laser and just kept it moving.
Oh, and then on top of that, my man just goes to space.
Yeah, he just goes to the moon for a while.
He just goes to the moon.
Oh no, it was he went to the satellite. I think didn't he? He went to the satellite.
Went to the satellite and blew it up.
And it was like, you know what? Let me just go there and just swat that little shit out of the air.
I don't need a space helmet. I don't need any of the above. I'm just gonna go up there by myself.
Bro, when you really put that feat in perspective, like I think we're looking at a really, really powerful character in Tetsuo.
Bro, Tetsuo is my favorite part of that whole movie. My man just stops a missile from a tank.
Yeah.
Isn't that what he does?
Bro, he bends a laser. A laser is not a projectile, bro. That's a concentrated beam of light. Yeah, and this nigga just bent that shit around him on some space-time continuum shit, bro. We're talking about Tetsuo as maybe not quite a Dragon Ball Z tier level character, but this nigga is way more powerful, I think, than a lot of people realize. Like,
bro, he went to space with no helmet. That's not.
He basically he tanks the power of like a nuclear missile.
Right.
And he's not even the most powerful character in the whole anime. Akira is even more powerful than him.
Right.
So shout out to Akira being just a great anime series or manga then movie. So and I just like and part of the reason why the showdown was so good was because of the energy between them, and like the narrative showdown was good too. So then we're going to get into one of my favorite movies of all time. And number 3, I'm going to go with Neo versus Mr. Anderson. Now,
hey, I like it.
Which one are we talking about? I'm going to
Mr. Anderson.
Right. if I had to pick one, I would say it was when he first decided to not when he became the one, because that wasn't really much of a fight. It was just
hold on, bro.
I mean, right. Let's just chill out right quick. God damn it. I'm thinking about something else. You know what I'm saying?
I'm playing the game, man.
Right.
I'm playing the game, bro. Back up.
Yeah. Hold on right quick. I gotta take a phone call. Hold on. I gotta take a phone call right now. Hello. That's no problem. I'm fighting this weak ass nigga right now. You're not getting no hits in because I'm the one. But I'll be with you in a moment. Type shit.
Oh my goodness, I love that part, man.
But not so that wasn't much of a fight. But I would say the first.
Hey, I know kung fu.
All right. Oh, wait a minute, bro. Is the Morpheus versus Neo maybe better? Oh, okay. I'm gonna put in. I gotta make that change. I'm gonna go Morpheus. I'm gonna go Morpheus versus Neo because if you just go for the quality of the kung fu that was on display, and I think it was both of them niggas doing that shit.
Keanu Reeves is oh yeah, it was 100%.
And shout out to old ass Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, bro. Let me tell you something about Keanu Reeves, bro. I had always heard. I already knew he was the real deal because when I was a kid, I loved The Matrix, and I had like the DVD with some of the behind the scenes stuff, and they showed he did all that stuff, right? But a couple years ago, probably like 3 years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago, I watched this movie called Man of Tai Chi, and it's just like a Asian cinema martial arts movie, and there's Keanu Reeves in it. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
That was Tiger Chin.
Tiger Chin. I like Tiger Chin. It's a dope movie. Keanu Reeves is in it. The guy he's dope, man.
He's legit.
He's a dope actor, man.
So the reason why I'm going to switch out, because if I'm thinking more about the Neo versus Mr. Anderson, that first fight, even though it was a good fight, the one when they were in the subway, Mr. Anderson kind of whooped his ass a little bit. It wasn't that competitive. And then if you want to go to the Matrix 3, where it was basically like a Dragon Ball Z fight at the end, that was cool. But it was a little much for me. Like, okay, even as like how old was I? That was what, like 2000. Even as like a 18, 19, 20-year-old, I was like, I don't know about all this, guys. I mean, we're doing a lot here. I'm doing kind of a lot. So I'm gonna go with a more like a more arts that are martial. Earnest showdown, like a proper dojo showdown between Karate Morpheus versus Kung Fu Neo.
Fantastic. It's amazing.
Great movie, man. First Matrix, still my favorite movie of all time. It's amazing.
It's in my top 5. Maybe we'll do that one day. Top 5 just movies in general. It's definitely in my top 5. That movie is amazing.
I mean, if you want to talk about a movie that I can quote from fucking beginning to end, it's probably one that.
Hello.
All right.
I love Keanu Reeves.
It's just Morpheus just being such a dog. Morpheus, hot take, dog. Morpheus top 7 science fiction character ever.
Facts. I'm not arguing it, bro. I love that when he's in the chair. Get up, Morpheus. Get up. And my man is just.
That nigga was channeling his energy. God damn it!
Oh my goodness, that movie, man! I haven't seen the first Matrix in years. I bet you I need to watch it. I would love it if I just watch it.
It holds up so fucking well, bro. It's just a fantastic. And then if you want to get sweaty and look into like the philosophy and the kind of the science, the imagery, the symbolism, all of that shit is just on point.
It's crazy.
Fantastic.
I gotta go back and watch it. I haven't seen it. It is one of my favorite movies, though. 100%. The movie's incredible.
All right, so moving on to number 2, I'm gonna go since back to some Star Wars shit, man. I gotta go Obi-Wan, the Prime Vader, young Anakin, right before his demise via the Mustafar. Right, dog, flex. You know what I'm saying?
Let her go, Anakin. Let her go.
All right. I mean, just, in my opinion, that's I think that was my favorite lightsaber fight of all time. I'm pretty sure it was.
Take her from me.
It's just, I mean, the music. They basically were fighting in hell. Basically, just the
we
theme.
always talk about that fight.
Yeah,
That fight is amazing, bro.
It's just phenomenal. So definitely here for that. And you got to really see Obi-Wan, bro. Obi-Wan, dog. His track record. His track record is super reliable. That nigga beat
Kobe.
What's
Tim Duncan, Kobe? I mean,
come
on, man.
Look at the box score, and Obi-Wan got 24, 7, and 7, and you didn't even notice. Like, holy shit! And he's sneakily a 8-time All-Star and got 5 rings. And he
sneaky held the best player on the other team to 18, and he averages 30.
Right, hey man, Anakin. Basically, he held Anakin to 18 points and a bunch of turnovers and some crucial turnovers at the end of the game that literally cost him his life. Heady play. Hey, they tried. Look, he had the high ground. They tried to run a flare screen and they trapped on him because Obi-Wan called the play. It was like, yo man, I got the script. I got the playbook.
Anakin couldn't get the rock.
Right.
He tripped trying to hustle back on defense, and his arms and legs came off.
I was about to say blew an Achilles, but no, that's funnier. The nigga just arm and leg fell off, and then he caught on fire for some reason.
Yo, real quick, because. Yo, what's the most embarrassing play that's happened to you in college?
I mean, easy. We talked about this, bro. I got called for ups and downs as a 19-year-old college sophomore. Ups and downs, like I never played basketball before. The fuck.
Yo, one time.
Hold on, dog. I gotta tell the story, nigga. Made a good crossover move. I don't think I started, but it was one of the first games where I got a lot of playing times. Made a good crossover move. Went for a pull-up jump shot. All of a sudden, a big 8-foot-tall center came out of nowhere, and then I was like, oh! And then I tried to get to pass it around him. And then I had no options, and I came down with the ball, and I just handed that bitch to the ref. Like, look, bro.
Trash.
I committed a turnover, and I'm trash. Coach, please take me out of the game. I do not deserve to play basketball anymore. And I'm pretty sure I got taken out right after that. And I don't know if I came back in the game after that. And I wouldn't be mad if I didn't come back in the game. Like, if you get called for ups and downs as a person who's been playing basketball as a fucking grown-up, then you shouldn't be playing ball no more. Get your sorry ass off my court. That's what happened to me. How about you?
Oh my goodness!
Ups and downs. What the fuck is that?
Trash. I think I told you this when I was in college, bro. When I was in college, I went to save a loose ball, and I went to save it. I jumped in the air, called a timeout in the air, and then fell super hard into the bleachers. And hurt myself and everything. And then I got up and it was the other team's ball. And I was super mad at the ref. And I was like, what? And I'm looking at my coach, bro. And the ref's like, you can't do that in college. You can only do that in the NBA. So I'm sitting here looking at my coach to get some backup, and he's just looking at me like I'm an idiot. And everybody in the whole gym is like, what's wrong with this dude? He's an idiot. I felt so stupid. It was terrible.
Here's one more embarrassing basketball related question. Or what's one sports rule that you didn't understand and that you were embarrassed that you didn't really understand why it was there?
That's a good question.
I got a really good one. While you're thinking about it, I'll be honest, bro. I didn't really understand the purpose of a foul to give, and I fucking played college basketball.
Yeah. Okay.
And even to this day, I still don't 100% understand why it's become such a widespread thing.
I don't. I mean, I get it. I know what it's there for, but I just never understood why it was so popular because I guess all you're trying to do is make the other team like overthink because they have to pass the ball in again.
Right.
You know
Stop the
I
clock,
mean?
basically.
Yeah,
Stop the clock
will,
without a foul to give before you into the bonus, so you can stop the clock to fuck that shit up.
Right, and that's all it is. But I am very surprised that it's like so, popular. I don't think it's that big a deal. But
it's really not, bro.
But everybody does it. I would probably have to say mine is I guess for a while I didn't understand the whole circle rule with the charges. You know what I mean? And I didn't really understand it. I do now, but there was a time where I just like did not get that. I was just like, what does it matter? But then I started but then being on the end of the person who is being called for a charge, it's stupid because, well, it makes sense like when you understand it, because if the guy is not outside of the circle, then there's no way you can make a layup because he's like literally under the basket. You know what I mean? So like he's gonna get a charge because he's taking away the area that you're scoring in.
I also think charges should go away in general. Don't reward unathletic bad defense. Let that nigga get dunked on. Let that nigga get crossed over and dunked on. That's his fault.
I've always hated charges. We used to have to do this stupid drill where you had to take a charge, and I just hated it. The only time I've ever taken a charge is when there would be like I would always play against a team. Oh my God, he's so small. Let me get the ball in the post. And they like go out of their way to. And I just would take a charge I had the formula, bro. I would take 2 really hard bumps, and then the third one I would just, and it would be so quick. I would get the call every time. So also let me modify that. I would like for offensive fouls to still stay. Like when somebody were to come just like elbow and like off arm. But if you go and like take a charge, get that shit the fuck off of my basketball court. I hate it. I hate it so much. Like, go away. Why are you standing here to get hit?
So you're unathletic and you can't play defense. So this is how you've decided to be impactful on defense. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not rewarding that shit. Anyways, all right. So we got sidetracked again as per usual. Here's my number one, bro. Here's my number one. I think this is a really good one. And this is about the symbolism and how important this person is to me. I'm going to go with Lee versus O'Hara and Enter the Dragon. Now that's the fight. That's the fight. Like the hand-to-hand fight, you know what I'm talking about? And so the reason why that shit is so, I mean, it wasn't much of a fight. Obviously, Bruce Lee kicks the dog shit out of that guy. But the reason why it was so dope is because you got to see, like, what Bruce Lee was working on, right? Like, what he had, like, the Bruce Lee, the person, the philosopher, the martial artist, the teacher was developing, and he got to put it into the character Lee in that movie, right? You got to see the transition from, like, the straight, like, you know, Wing Chun stance and like the traditional martial arts, the Kung Fu style that he was using, and it was effective. I mean, the hand speed, you know what I'm saying? Just off top, just popping that nigga in his fucking face immediately. And he didn't have, it wasn't shit he could do about it because that nigga just wasn't good enough. God damn it. And then when O'Hara got onto some funky shit, you got to see Lee bust out in the first time on wax, the Jeet Kune Do shuffle. That was the first time we ever seen that in you know, I think he did it in Game of Death, but he never did that in any other Bruce Lee movie, I don't think. Because everything else before that was very traditional, like Kung Fu that he was doing. Yeah. But this is where you got to see him like unleash his style. And he just literally, I mean, martial law from Tekken. That's such a good take, because I'm pretty sure that you're right about that. I think that's the first time we ever saw it. And I think he only ever does it again in Game of Death, because that was the one, I mean, that was the movie he was working on when he passed. But bro, martial law and forest law from Tekken were created in that scene. I mean,
Absolutely.
even the famous flip kick that Law is famous for, Bruce Lee did that shit in that scene. That's where it came from.
Yeah.
So that's just, to me, that's just the ultimate showcase of just Bruce Lee being a fucking, just being just a martial arts god is in that scene. So that's my number one. Just to run through them again, I got Donnie Yen versus Colin Chow in Flashpoint, Tetsu versus Kaneda from Akira, Kung Fu Neo versus Karate Morpheus from The Matrix, Obi-Wan versus Anakin, and Lee versus O'Hara from Enter the Dragon. Boom.
I love it, man. Super dope. I love the Bruce Lee one. Before I get into mine, I got a couple honorable mentions, man. Neo versus Agent Smith from the first Matrix. Really love that fight. Got to shout out the Flashpoint fight, Donnie Yen versus Colin Chow. Amazing. And I got to give some love to Cap versus Bucky from Winter Soldier. I love that movie. Best Marvel fight scene, in my opinion. But yeah, man.
Bucky versus Black Panther was a good one too.
Yes, Bucky versus Black Panther, man. Seeing Panther for the first time, fighting with the suit on was amazing. Yeah. So yeah, man, let's go. Coming in at number 5, I am going with it's an amazing fight. Might be a surprise because I don't know if you've seen this movie, but I'm going with Donnie Yen versus Zhang Jin. I think his character is Tenchi. I think that's how you say his name, from Ip Man 3. Now, this is the last fight of Ip Man 3, and this fight is so amazing, bro, because me being somebody who has trained Wing Chun for a long time and just seeing this fight, it's really the first Wing Chun on Wing Chun fight that you see in these movies. And this guy is actually the character who ends up becoming the last like real Wing Chun master after Ip Man passes away. And this fight at the end of this movie is amazing, bro. It's all Wing Chun. The weapons they use, the techniques they do a little bit of Chi Sao, which is like sticky hands, and they do a little bit of Chi Sao, and it's just, that fight is so Wing Chun. And just for the first time I saw it, it's always dope when you're watching something that you have a little bit of knowledge about, so you're able to pick out the things that they're doing. And that was one of the first fights in a movie where I was able to, look at it and pick out everything that they're doing. You know what I mean? And it's a crazy Wing Chun fight, man. It's amazing, and it's one of my favorite fights ever. And aside from the black belt fight from the first Ip Man movie, this is my favorite fight from those movies. I mean, Donnie Yen is obviously Donnie Yen. He's incredible, but this other guy who plays the character Tenchi in the movie, he's really, 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 really good too. So that's my number 5. Coming in at number 4, man, I'm going Jackie Chan versus Ken Lo, right? So this is the fight at the end of The Legend of the Drunken Master. Yeah, dog. Bro, this fight is so amazing. This is like top peak level Jackie Chan right here. And we always, like, just the other day, then somebody asked a question of like who is better between Jackie and Jet Li. And I mean, respect to Jet Li, I don't think it's close. Y'all gotta stop watching Rush Hour, okay, and watch some real Jackie Chan movies. Bro, this fight is amazing. Stunts crazy. Obviously, Jackie doing the ridiculous freestyle Drunken Master stuff. And then Ken Lo with the machine gun. Bro, the machine gun leg, dog. The machine gun taekwondo leg, bro.
Yeah, dog. That nigga was fucking getting loosening that bitch up, nigga. I love that shit, bro.
Bro, that fight is crazy. The machine gun taekwondo leg, Jackie on the hot coals.
Yeah,
bro, that fight is.
And then wasn't he drinking like gasoline in order to get gasoline? That movie is sneaky hilarious too, bro.
that movie.
That nigga was drinking Petro to get sauced.
But yeah, that fight is ridiculous. One of my favorite fights. Probably that's my favorite. Definitely, I think it's Jackie's best work. That movie is amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's my number 4.
I always say though, don't sleep on the original Drunken Master.
The first one, I love it. I love the training.
Amazing.
I love the training montage.
The training montage is so fucking bro. The first time you get to see the OG master like fall into that drunken bro, he it's so dope. It's like it was almost like a strike because he didn't just like, all right, so here's how you do it. That nigga took a sip and just said,
because and
just fell into it. I was like, yo, that shit is fire, dog.
It's a whole nother mode that they.
Yeah, he had to get elevated, man. Bro. He had to find his spot, his mental spot. He was there.
It's amazing. Love it. Coming in at number 3, I got Tong Lung versus Colts. Now, if you've never seen Way of the Dragon, that's Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris from Way of the Dragon. Bro, I love that fight. I love that. That's my favorite Bruce Lee movie. But yo, this fight between Bruce and Chuck is amazing. It's just Bruce being Bruce, dog. Like, he's so fast. He's so quick. There's that one where he's just... that ridiculous combo. I love the scene before the fight where they show like the cat stretching its back.
Oh, and they show Bruce doing it right along with them.
Bruce doing the cat back stretch.
That shit was so dope, dog.
Super amazing, crazy scene. A really dope fight between him and Chuck. And Way of the Dragon is my favorite Bruce movie, so that fight is really good, man. It's amazing. Coming in at number 2, man. My favorite movie of all time. Jin Yu versus Yu Shu Lin. That's Zhang Jiji versus Michelle Yeoh from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. They had an amazing fight in their first encounter in the movie, but this is the last fight they have where they're in the weapons room and Jin Yu is using the Green Destiny, and then you got Michelle Yeoh trying to stop her, and she's just using every weapon in there, and that fight is incredible, man. It's amazing. It's the fight that made me want to really, because before when I was younger and I was a kid, I had only done karate. This movie and that fight is what made me want to explore Chinese martial arts, because just the movements of just wushu, it's just like dancing. I love it. It's just so just beautiful to look at. And this fight is incredible, man. If y'all never seen it, y'all gotta watch this movie first of all. But this fight scene is just ridiculous. So that's my number 2. Number 1, it's easy. Y'all know it. My favorite lightsaber fight. But I'm gonna actually separate it since we're talking about a showdown here. I'm gonna go Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan from Phantom Menace. But post Qui-Gon already getting killed, right? So now we're talking about the strict one-on-one exchange between Maul and Obi-Wan. Just
at that point, it becomes a one-on-one scrap.
It becomes a one-on-one scrap, and I mean, what you want me to say, man? This is wushu. This is martial arts and laser swords, right? Like,
it's hard to beat that.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't even got to talk about it because I talked about it a lot last week when we talked about or 2 weeks ago when we talked about our favorite lightsaber fights. That's my number 1. But Maul and Obi-Wan, man, they have that crazy little exchange with the you know what I'm talking about,
bro. They were overloading their lightsabers, and the bitches was just like popping off. Goddamn, too many arts that are martial. Goddamn it,
martial arts are going on. But that's amazing, man. That's my number 1. And you know, I didn't want to include any anime ones because the ones that I would have included, I had them in my top 5 anime fights. So shout out to Spike versus Vincent from the Cowboy Bebop movie. And as always, shout out to Nanashi versus Luau Lane from Sword of the Stranger.
Sword of the Stranger.
Incredible. But yeah, man, that's my top 5. I got Ip Man versus Tenchi from Ip Man 3. Got Jackie Chan versus Ken Lo from Legend of the Drunken Master. Got Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris from Way of Dragon. Jin Yu versus Yu Shulian. That's Xiang Zizi versus Michelle Yeoh from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Number 1, Darth Maul, Ray Park, the Wushu master playing my favorite Star Wars character versus Obi-Wan from Phantom Menace. And shout out to Ewan McGregor, man, because I have watched him do some lightsaber turning videos, and my man has
got some game.
He got some real skills, man. So shout out to him. And that's my top 5, bro. Before we check out of here, is there anything you want to put me on, sir?
You go first. I gotta gather something here.
All right, word. While you are gathering, I'm going to put you on an anime, sir. And we talked about Cabaneri, the Iron Fortress, which is very dope. I really love that show. Unbelievable animation, super top tier, like legitimately some of the best animation that I have ever seen. And I'm not just saying that. It's amazing. Like I said before, it reminds me of Attack on Titan. It kind of has Attack on Titan vibe to it a little bit. But with that said, I'm going to put you on another anime. I am going to put you on an anime called Tower of God. Now, Tower of God is a show that I've only seen one episode of, but it looks really, really, it's very good. The animation is really dope. I've seen a lot of people speaking very highly of it. And it's about this guy, and I guess you could say that he's never really been out into society, right? He's never been in the presence, I guess, of others like that. There's a girl who he cares about, and basically he is in this tower, and this girl she's trying to get to him, and she's trying to get to the top of this tower so she can get to him. And it's almost got a game of death vibe. You know what I mean?
I'm looking at the pictures here right now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Going through the tower and facing the other people. So I've only watched the first episode, but it looks incredibly dope. I'm gonna definitely finish it. So you should check out Tower of God, man.
All right, I'm gonna check it out.
The animation is dope. I only watched one episode, but from what I watched, it was pretty dope. And animation and action, man, you got top tier in those two things. It's always a good recipe, man. So check out Tower of God.
So here's what I'm going to put you on. There's a Netflix. I don't know if it's safe to call this an anime because it's Chinese. It's a Chinese production, but it's drawn in an anime-ish style. It's very cartoonish. It's super cartoonish. It's almost like if Family Guy was an anime, sort of. But you know what? You remember that old? This shit is actually hilarious. You remember that old ass anime Shin-Chan?
Yes.
That shit is funny as fuck. That
show is hilarious. My brother Chris actually loves that show.
It's hilarious. But it's animated kind of like that. But anyways, it's a Chinese joint, and it's a comedy, but it's also off top. It's a comedy, it's meant to not be taken seriously, almost on some Rick and Morty type shit. Word. But the action parts are extremely well done to the point where it's yo, that shit's actually really fire. It's about this guy who is he wants to be an assassin.
So like Peter fighting the chicken.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Because those fights are always animated really well for some reason. Actually,
I don't know what it's called now that I'm thinking about it. But it's about this guy who wants to be an assassin, and he can chi control. He's a barber, and he can chi control his scissors. Basically, telepathically control his scissors. Let me see.
Sounds actually sounds hilarious.
I'm trying to find the name of it. Scissor 7 is what it's called.
Scissor 7. Okay.
I'm gonna just show you pull up a picture so you can kind of see like the energy here.
Scissor 7, I'm gonna check it out.
So this is sort of the vibe here.
Oh, word! It looks dope, actually.
Yeah. It is though. I mean, it gets cartoonish. Like the animation is kind of rough and like sketched a little bit, but it's fire. It's dope. I think there's like 13 episodes. I'm about 7 in, and it's funny.
I'm gonna check it out, and I like that though. Like, so I really like the Hunter manga, right? That's like one of my favorite mangas, and it's crazy because if you read that book, the art is not very detailed at all. Like, it's so sketchy, and it's not like say like a Naruto or, you know what I mean? If you read the Hunter manga, it's really not that detailed, and for some reason it just like stands out because it looks like somebody was working on something and they just kind of like didn't finish it or something.
All right, I'm done.
Yeah, but it's dope though. I like it, and it makes you kind of appreciate the anime even more because, you know what I mean, the manga is so like it's like very rough, and I like it though. I think it's dope.
Yeah,
so
sometimes I should be looking sweet.
Yeah, so Scissor 7, I'm gonna check it out, man.
Yeah, it's funny. There it is.
Man. There it is, episode 36 in the books. Look, man, me and Hero are gonna probably be doing another live set here pretty soon, man. So you guys make sure you become a patron on Patreon so you can see the set. I don't know when we're gonna do it, but it's probably gonna be soon. We'll do another one like we did, another quarantine joint. Yeah. And
yo, hold on. Here's an idea that I'm gonna vet to you right here on the air, on the wax right now. This is the first time. What if we did recently? This past weekend, I went on Facebook Live and did like a beat set, or not a beat set, like a beat kind of thing or whatever. A live
episode of the podcast.
I was maybe, yeah. Well, here, that's not what I was thinking, but that's a good idea. What I was gonna say was we should do a live. So like we should link. Since you already got, I'm basically just going to piggyback off of your fan base since you're already famous. We should link your Twitch page so that like anytime we go live, whether it be like a beat set or like a Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and just do it all from that same spot. So like everybody can have access to like the ins and outs of what's going on.
Perfect, man. It's a great idea.
We'll figure out the details of it. We could like whether we're streaming Smash or streaming, Star Wars or whatever the case. Just kind of make it like a centralized location for streaming live shit because apparently that's what people like in this quarantine age is the live impact, the live back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So we'll figure that out.
That's a great idea. I'm here for it, man. Boom. Hey, man, thank y'all for listening. Episode 36 in books. We have done a podcast episode 36 weeks straight.
I haven't missed one.
That is amazing.
Undefeated, never lost.
Undefeated, 36-0. We love y'all. Thank y'all for listening, man. And thanks for the supporting us, man. And just keep listening, man. And if you are a creative person, if you're a writer, if you're an artist, if you're a musician, if you're a photographer, if you draw, if you're just a creative person, stay creative, man. In these quarantine times, we love y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Peace. Right. I can't do it. I can never do it. I got like that awkward. See, I got that weird curve. I can't do it good. You do it with both hands?
Yeah, bro, it's easy. I've been doing this Star Trek shit for my whole life. So
what sorcery is this? He can do it with both. I can't even look at my left.
And that'll do it.
My word word is my sword, Hokage and Batosai, pulling the blades out of the forge, yo. Prior to my knowledge of the Force, was thinking Jedi, but through obtaining holocrons from both sides, I'm under gray skies. Everything that glitter ain't kyber crystal, my mind will lift you. In this time we shine together, disarm your pistol, yo. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast, my wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash.